Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome to a brand new YouTube video where I'm discussing a $10,000 profit single day that my social media marketing agency was able to attain a couple months back that completely changed the trajectory of my agency forever. And ever since, we've been having similar days just like this one. But I wanted to start with the first one because I really wanted you to understand that anybody can really grow their agency to this point. And I'm going to help you in this video understand some of the basics that we've applied very, very well, because really, truly, it's not advanced tactics, it's basics applied well that allow for a successful business. And what those basics are, I'm going to share with you in this video to allow you to begin to see the bigger picture of how successful agencies work. And so I actually have a presentation here ready for you. Sorry for the ambulance outside. I'm telling you, we have so many ambulances right outside the window. No big deal. Who cares? A walkthrough of a $10,000 profit single day and how to start and grow a social media marketing agency, a profitable marketing agency. And there in the background is a picture of my apartment where I'm recording this video from. We just recently finished decorating the living room area, and then I'll do the loft area. My bedroom still has some work, but that's the living room area. Really happy with this space. It's where I'll have my masterminds out in the future. It's where I've flown out students, including Keaton Walker, who's at $10,000 profit a month, and so you'll hear more about that in this. But really, I just want this to be an incredibly valuable presentation for everybody who watches. So look, this is going to be a very valuable video, but we're just going to dive straight in. I recommend you watch the whole thing, take notes the whole way through, and let me know what you thought. Let me know some responses down below. So here's, first of all, proof of the $10,000 day, because I'm sure that tons of people will say, Trey, there's no way that you actually profited $10,000. It's very true. So this is one of the pieces of software that I use on the back end of my agency that tracks all of our expenses, all of our revenue, and that you can see it says $10,291.70 in net volume, which of course means profit after expenses there. And then you can see what we're doing right now on the right there, which is also very good. Today, as I'm recording this, we've done zero in the agency. Some days are super small, but I wanted to show September 19th, which is the date of the $10.2 thousand profit, or $10.3 thousand profit day in net. So that's true, unfiltered profit there. And remember, I'm not qualified on paper as I started as a total newbie, and anyone can ascend this newbie identity. So I want to show you guys something really cool here. This is me, clueless and big-headed, at 17 years old, okay, knowing nothing. Honestly, knowing nothing. Like, I look at this picture and I kind of cringe a little bit, and a lot of people might be like, Trey, why are you putting this online? Like, dude, this is such a weird... Maybe you don't feel that way at all, but I feel that way because this is me when I knew nothing. I was broke. I thought like $500 was a lot of money. Like, I was honestly like totally broke. And I was one of those typical entrepreneurs that like followed Gary Vee and like Grant Cardone and all these big entrepreneurs. And I thought like putting out social media content was the freaking key to becoming a multimillionaire online. Like all these things, like I just had so many skewed viewpoints of what it took to succeed as an online entrepreneur. And then here's me, 20 as of last week, someone who has measurable impact in his industry and whose clients praise him. That's me opening the blinds here at my apartment on the left, and a picture of me in my apartment the first day I moved in on the right there. This is honestly a dream step, and I'm so proud of this apartment because truly your space is the most valuable investment you can make. Honestly, the $3,500 I'm paying a month to live here has been completely, totally worth it. It's made me back tons of money just with the amount of focus I can put in, what it's done for the brand, everything like that. But really, honestly, it has been a total game changer. And to be able to look at where I was in this little bedroom here, with just bland walls, a really cruddy desk that is cluttered and nasty, and it's just in the top corner of an average household, to now being in my absolute dream setup. What took me there? What changed? My identity, who I was. I changed, and I changed because I'm following some of the things that I'm going to teach you in this video. And I want this video to be one that you can come back to for years to come and consider to be the most valuable video in your entire journey as an online entrepreneur, especially a digital marketing agency owner. So let me go back into the computer. Here's what we're going to cover in this video. So first of all, what Koa Media, which is my agency, does. what we actually do for our clients, what types of services we provide, so you can really get a good idea of, what we're selling here, so you can see, why people are paying us so much and why we did $10,000 in profit. Next is understanding your niche holistically, from a holistic point of view, which means understanding the entire thing, not just Facebook ads for that thing, or Google ads, or SEO, or whatever it is that you're selling for that thing, but understanding the entire niche holistically. Next is a walkthrough of the day, what I sold, and how I sold it. That way you can actually see, I'm actually going to show you a screenshot of the calendar from the day that it happened, so you can see what happened that day, what was on my calendar. I'm going to walk you through each appointment, what happened, and help you really understand how I was able to do this. Next is how to trust in your offers and their worth. So I want you to learn how to develop a true internal self-confidence that is unfaltering and believe in the market value that you have to a point where $10,000 days become a reality for you. Next is attracting a high ticket, which means $3,500 a month or more clientele. So how to get people coming to you that are ready to pay you this amount of money, not just going to, but how to attract, and keyword attract, a high ticket clientele. So, I am a huge proponent of getting people to come to you and not vice versa, right? If you can get somebody to come to you, you have the leverage. And you got to understand this, as an agency owner, a lot of people focus on cold outreach, cold email, cold messaging, and that's all fine. And you'll make some money doing that. But it's not only faster, easier, more long-term, and more profitable to do inbound, but it's also easier for beginners than cold if you just know the right methods. And so I want to talk very briefly about some of these methods in this video training here. And then next is keeping high, which means like 80 to 90% margins with your agency. So how to keep $900 out of every $1,000 that you're paid as an agency owner, which is just absolutely unheard of for most agencies. You look at some of the big agencies in the space, talking about Gary Vee again maybe. He has his VaynerMedia, which is, this large marketing agency which focuses on big name brands and helping them on social media. And they do, if I remember right, they have a 6% margin, I think. So for every $1,000 that they get, they keep $60. And that's because they have this massive team and it's kind of bloated. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's a very sizable operation, and obviously Gary's a very rich person. But you just look at the agency and you kind of have to wonder why they're operating like that. And I want to talk to you about how and why marketers should be keeping higher margins. And I want to explain to you what I've done that has allowed me to do so. So back into the training here. Next is overcoming yourself to become a new, quote, you. So actually ascending your self-image, because who you think you are becomes who you are, which reinforces who you think you are, which then becomes who you are in sort of a loop. And I want to talk about how to hack that loop to allow you to become exactly who you intend to be. And lastly is how to do it right. So how to take all of these things that you're learning and apply them today, so you can go home and actually get results from this free video here, because there's a lot to learn, and I really want to make sure that you take it, utilize it, and implement it, and don't just sit around and watch a video just to watch a video. I want this to be incredibly applicable for you, and again, I want it to be the video that you come back to regarding growing your marketing agency. I want you to literally stop watching YouTube after this. I want you to take this video and be like, all right, that's what I'm doing. I'm just going to go now and never, ever return, because I want you to take action and actually see results from this, okay? So what Koa Media does, which is City on a Hill, that's the name of my company here, and it's the biblical idea of taking a city, putting it on a hill. So if there's this idea of the shining city on the hill, that you're supposed to be a shining city, people can't avoid seeing a shining city, a city on a hill, right? And so I want to take my clients, put them on that hill so that my clients make far more money and dominate their competitors, because their competitors are unseen compared to them. So that's what City on a Hill means to me, and that's why I call my agency Koa Media instead of Cockrum Media or something after my last name, which a lot of people would do. I really, first of all, I want to be able to sell this company later down the line, and second of all, I really like the symbolism here. So City on a Hill Media is the name of my company, and here's what we do. So we work with information product sellers. Anyone with an online course or information product who's gotten good results with the program and wants to scale beyond the $100,000 a month mark. We actually have 2 clients at this point. And so this is really easy for you to understand. I bet it's simply enough. We build funnels and run paid advertising for people who have successful online courses. By successful, I don't so much mean that they've made a lot of money. I more so mean that a lot of the people who have bought the course really, really liked it and got a lot of value out of it and got results with it, whatever the course may be, whether it's the make money online sort of a thing, or maybe it's like a fitness course or whatever it is. I mean, we have people spanning the whole spectrum. I'm now working with personally on a coaching consulting basis and then moving them into a more agency style thing with a done for you service soon. They're paying us $3,500 a month basically so I can help him launch a consulting program on how to lead millennial teams. This is the owner of a multi-million-dollar electric company, and he came to me asking me to help him launch his consulting business, helping people lead millennial teams, because he has 30 employees and they're all millennials. And people look at him and wonder how on earth he's doing it, because this industry is so old-fashioned. And they want to hire millennials, but they don't know how. So there's a lot of money to be made there. That's like a $50,000 to $100,000 ticket package we're talking about to come and consult a company on this. And so that just gives you a good idea. We don't only help existing info product sellers, but we help people move into information businesses as a whole, whether it's coaching, consulting, a course, etc. Which brings me back to the slide here. Coaches/consultants. Anyone who sells a high-ticket coaching program and has gotten results with their teaching will help you get more clients. Will also help you bridge the gap from coach to course seller so you can scale massively. And this is why it's helpful for you to know. So I want you to know the niche I service so you can understand something simple. You must master your niche and see the niche at a holistic level. And as well as understanding what we do, helping you understand how you have to treat your niche, I also want you to understand what we do so that you can put the things that you're learning in this video into context with Koa Media and how we operate, okay? Because, what I don't want for you is to be super confused as to what we're selling, who our market is, because I think you're going to see some checks, you're going to see some numbers that otherwise might make absolutely no sense. Okay, so let's move on here. Next is developing a holistic view of your niche. And I sort of have this video of, I think it's Hong Kong or some large city, looking down on it from 30,000 feet in the air or something crazy. Probably not that high, probably more like 10,000 feet in the air. But the reason why is because I want you to understand that you have to be able to view your business and your niche as a whole. You have to be able to look down on it and see every little part and see every moving piece. You have to be able to go up into the macro level and be able to ascend down into the micro level at every stage in your client's business and your business so you can control the whole thing holistically. So let's talk about this. So here's most agency owners. I help dentists get more clients with Facebook ads. And so this may work in a rare scenario, but it just doesn't work often enough to be a reasonable strategy for attracting clients. So here's the high earning agency owners. They not only understand how to grow a business with digital marketing, but they've been in the arena themselves doing the same business as their clients, or just as valuable, or at least they understand the business model and industry on a level as good or better than their clients do. So this is why niching down and understanding one industry is super key. So holistic view. So understand the false beliefs of your marketplace, meaning the buyers, the people that will pay you money. The types of bottlenecks they run into, meaning why their business doesn't grow. The things they simply won't give up, meaning the things you can't take away from them, even if it's hurting them. And the social standard of their market, meaning what might not be socially acceptable for them to do, what might be socially acceptable for them to do in order to grow their business. You got to understand these things holistically in order to truly influence somebody's business. So the typical thing is, look, just learn Facebook ads and you can help any business. And that's true. You honestly can. But if you want to get paid a lot of money and have $10,000 profit days and grow a multiple five-figure monthly agency here, you have to understand your niche at a holistic level and either have experienced it yourself or, and just as easily, study it intently. And we'll talk about this. So here's an example. I sell my own courses and have done so successfully, so I help my clients with strategies I use on myself. And this allows me to have a holistic view of the market and be an authority for them. So here's how to develop this. Either A, only serve clients things you've served yourself with. So not always possible for a beginner. Basically what I'm saying by this is don't help people with something that you haven't already helped yourself with, right? And that's not always possible for a beginner. Maybe you're just starting your agency. Maybe you're just now an entrepreneur, just now a business owner. You haven't even tested these things, and that's totally fine too. Here's option B. Begin studying your market like an obsessed observer of its nature, becoming acutely aware of its typical state and what it truly needs in order to grow, outside of simple Facebook advertising. Interview owners of the business, pay them for their time even. Get book recommendations, speak with other successful agency owners in the niche, and begin thinking like your market. And I want to plug real quick the 6-Figure Marketing Consultant. It talks more in depth on this topic. The link can be found in the description. This is my online program that will help you start and grow or grow your existing social media marketing agency to that multiple 5-figure monthly level. So here's the $10,000 day walkthrough, all right? So here's a walkthrough. The 3 strategy sessions that I had. So let me slow down here. I'm going really fast. I want you guys to understand this day. I want you to understand what makes up a really good day. This is simply some sales calls that I generated, and you'll see how I did that. And I want to talk to you really about how, look, the work that made this day happen, I put in 6 months to a year prior. Okay, I learned about my niche. I put out content. I attracted clients. That is work that was done off of this day. Okay, so some people so there's a really good quote. Jeff Bezos was in an interview, and he was being congratulated for a really, really, really good Q4. And he said, "Thank you so much, but really we didn't do anything different than we did last Q4. The reality is we've been doing the same thing over and over again really well and allowing it to grow. So this Q4 was written in stone 6 years ago." So you got to understand that this day was planted long before the day happened. It wasn't a cold call that then landed me a meeting and then that day I got a sale. No, you gotta think better than that. Think about, second and third order consequences to your actions. So the clients that came to me because of actions I did earlier. I put out content, I ran some ads. You'll see the methods I used, but you got to think it's not just this day. Okay, so we'll talk about this. So first, 3 strategy sessions. So I use Facebook ads, Facebook groups, and other organic methods, specifically YouTube, to attract clients onto my calendar for strategy sessions, where I sell my services by listening, keyword listening, and offering a package that I feel would best fit the client. Organic is easy. Use content to build authority and then offer calls to sell stuff. So that is my whole organic method summed up, and that's also my paid method summed up. When you're running paid ads, you want to give people educational services or just free, whether it's case studies or videos, whatever it is, to help build authority for you, and then give them a call to action to get a call with you. So a 2 out of 3 close rate. So you can see Yolbins at the top was needing a coaching package, so I sold him a $2,000 package through the agency. And then Mike declined a similar offer. So you can see later in the day, about 10:15, 10:30, he was on the phone, and I offered him the same thing I offered Yolbins because he sounded very similar to him, but he said no, and he never came back. And then you look about 2 hours later, Bobby took an $8,500 package plus a revenue share agreement, which means he gives us a piece of the money that will make him. I think we agreed on 10% with him. And the total is $10,500 generated. $10,500 generated. And this is all it was. It's very simple. In reality, it was probably more like a $60,000 to $100,000 day because of the work we'll be doing with our client, Bobby. He's giving us a cut of what we make him, so we'll make more out into the future. And here's exactly what was sold. So for Yolbins, it was a coaching package to help him scale his consulting business. And he's gone on to see good results since this time. And for Bobby, it was a paid traffic and funnel building program. I assigned his account to my team to build him a VSL, which means video sales letter funnel. It's very similar to a webinar funnel, if you know what that is, to generate red hot leads for him to sell his $3,000 course on a phone call. And we're now handling his Facebook ads to generate sales. So that's a walkthrough of the day. It's truly, honestly, that simple. Attract clients and give them something that they want. In my course, I talk a lot about, it's simple. It's 2 systems. You're building client attraction machines and client results machines. And if you can merge these 2 into that symbiosis, you will have a very successful marketing agency or consulting business or coaching business or really whatever it is that you're doing on any consulting level, where it's all the way as a done-for-you service or all the way as a DIY, do-it-yourself course. Whatever it is on that spectrum, it's all about attracting people and getting them results. Attraction machines and results machines, and that's all you have to build as a agency owner, as a consultant, as a coach, whatever it might be, right? So that's a walkthrough of the day. So moving on. Next is how to trust your offers and their worth. Huge, important stuff. So how to structure offers. Most agencies are scared to ask what they're worth. They shake and quiver at the notion of charging more than $1,000 to $2,000 a month for services. Why is this? because they're not starting with the end in mind, and they've developed a poor perspective. So starting with the end in mind. For Bobby, do you think $8,500 is much money at all if we can make him back hundreds of thousands out into the future? Absolutely not. You're not charging based on your skills, your experience, your age, your credentials, or anything other than results. Charge a client, for example, 1/10 of what money you believe you'll make them in return. And this way you can stay ahead of the game, you can keep your clients loving you, and charge a lot of money. So here's a poor perspective, or the opposite of a poor perspective. Let me just read this. We are on the cutting edge of marketing since the birth of man. If you don't internalize this and realize just how valuable a profitable Facebook ad campaign or any form of paid traffic or digital marketing is to a business, then you're never going to be confident in charging such prices. So consider this. If the printing press changed humanity, what has paid online advertising done? So a big part of why I'm so confident in what it is that I have to offer as a agency owner is that I know the history of mankind and the trajectory that we're on, and how I as an agency exist on the bottom of an industry bell curve that is just going to rocket ship up in the next 10 to 20 years. And I've positioned myself very crucially in that way. That's why this model is so popular, because we see this change in society and how we're beginning to do business differently. And we want to be service providers on the front end of that. I mean, humans have existed for a really long time. And all of a sudden we have this little spike in business. I mean, it's not little, it's freaking huge. But it's only existed for the past 25, 30 years, barely any time at all. Frankly, only really the past 15. And there's millions to be made. And when you realize hundreds of millions, there's billions to be made. You look at Bezos, you look at, Salesforce, you look at Facebook, you look at, all these online web, YouTube. The internet has changed business. And that simple phrase, the internet has changed business, should be internalized for you and help you understand how much money there is to be made for clients and for yourself. When you can internalize that, it's much easier to charge reasonable prices. And I call them reasonable because really what I'm charging should be like the bottom of the rung of what agencies should charge. You shouldn't charge any less than what I'm charging. Frankly, I feel like I should be charging more. I always feel like I should be charging more. Like with Bobby, I should have charged that guy $20,000 and asked for 20%. Like I should have the confidence and the know-how to be able to do so. I'm still growing as an agency owner, and I will very soon arrive at that point. But for now, it's a slow, steady build with my agency, and I want to get to a point where we are doing that. I want to sell $50,000 consulting packages. I want to sell, $20,000 weekend trainings. I want to have $10,000 a month retainers, people paying us $10,000 a month every single month for 3 or 4 years. That's where I want my agency to go. And frankly, that's even tiny. You look at some of the largest agencies, like for example, VaynerMedia. I think Coca-Cola paid them like $4 million or something for a deal at some point. There is a lot of money to be made as an agency owner, as a digital marketer. And you must internalize that and understand that even my numbers are just a tiny, tiny, tiny little drop in an ocean of an industry. And so internalizing that is going to be really, really helpful for you as you move forward as an agency owner. So let's hop back into the presentation here. So next is attracting high-ticket clientele. So how to move from your typical $1,000 to $2,000 a month agency contract, somebody with not a lot of money and maybe doesn't quite see the value of what you have to offer, to somebody who's ready to write you a very sizable check and wants to do it. And has a lot of money to spend and is ready to spend that money for you. So let's talk about this, attracting high-ticket clientele. So first of all, you are who you attract. So the popular saying, quote, "you are the average of the 5 people you hang around," is a two-way street. Yes, they influence you, but who you are also influenced who these friends you picked were. Who you attract is a mirror of who you are. And so if you want to attract higher-ticket clientele, you must also think like a high-ticket client. It's changing who you are. You're not going to attract high-ticket clients while solving low-ticket problems. Just like you won't attract powerful, life-changing friends if you yourself are not developing into a powerful, life-changing person. Choose to be someone, and you'll see that you'll attract them too. It's easier said than done, but it truly is this simple. Next is only poor people need money. So don't attract broken businesses. In order to attract businesses that want growth, you need to speak about growth. You attract what you speak of. In your marketing, talk about opportunity, growth, long-term vision, not quick money, easy added sales, simple/easy/quick, etc. You don't want to feed the starving. You want to feed the hungry, the people who have been fed but want more. That's who you want to work with. Lastly is solving big problems. In order to get paid more, you must bring more value to the marketplace. It's that simple. Think of a problem in your life that you'd pay $10,000 for right now to solve. Do you think if you're able to think of one, others are too? You must become a selfless, others-thinking machine in order to observe what the market needs and how to communicate your offer to them. So this is really, really important key stuff. Simply put, you will only make as much money as the amount of as the equivalent of the amount of value you bring to the market. And so you want to increase the amount of aid you bring to a business, and you want to increase the size of the pie that you create for a client. So let's say you were to add an extra $10,000 a month to a business that is doing $50,000 a month, versus adding another $1 million a year to a business that's doing $500,000 a year. Which one would you get paid to do more, right? I know that sounds horribly simple and maybe very, very boiled down and almost too easy, but it really is that easy. You have to think differently. You have to think, I'm going to add 2 or 3 patients a month to this dentist. Change from that to, I'm going to add $1 to $2 million a year to this e-commerce business. Well, I'm going to take this e-commerce business that is at $10 million a year. I'm going to grow it to 50. I'm going to help these guys just explode. And you want to do your research and figure out how you can do that. Look at old case studies of other people doing that and just get to it, man. There's nothing stopping you. The free market is beautiful. Anybody can come in and do that, okay? And you got to internalize this stuff. So back to the presentation. Next point, keeping high margins with an agency. This is a gif of Scrooge McDuck diving into a pile of coins. Because when you have high margins with an agency, you very quickly become a very profitable human being, and I figured Scrooge McDuck was a pretty funny character to include here. So, keeping high margins with your agency. So, it's not just about back end. So, it's not just about having a lean team or lean operations, though this helps massively and you want to have this dialed in. Have good workflows and know where you're slacking. But really, if I'm being honest, it's not just about that. A lot of people say it's just about having a good backend, but really that's only one half of the pie. You want to have a lean structure. You want to have team members that, you have on a clear payment system. You want to, have few team members. Keep it no more than just as many as you need. You don't want to fluff things up and bloat them. You just want to keep it really lean, right? But here's what it is actually about. So in order to have high margins, you must understand that the phrase, quote, you must spend money to make money isn't true in all cases. And then also understand that you're not selling your service or a package, quote, or even a plan. You're selling a result. And if you market the result, you'll be able to charge hundreds of times more and save lots of money on the back end. And so that's what you got to understand. People don't buy drills. They buy holes in their wall, right? People don't hire construction companies. They pay for buildings. You got to understand the result here. The popular game for families, Monopoly. They're not selling, 50 cents worth of foam, plastic, and ink. They're selling family time, right? You've got to recognize that it's not just the process or the product. It's the result that comes with it that you sell. A lot of the agency owners don't understand this. They don't understand that the practical application of the tool is where the value is created, not in the complexity of the tool or the use of the tool in of itself. So let's move forward. Optimizing for the results. So your team doesn't have to be highly paid experts. It can be virtual assistants you pay $500 to $1,000 a month to handle admin tasks. Just like an iPhone isn't sold at the same price of what it would cost to buy the raw metals and materials that are used to make it up, your services aren't sold at the cost that you spend to create them. So here's most agencies. Quote, we offer a 2-month total social media makeover, including Instagram, Facebook pages, Snapchat, and Tumblr, for a fraction of the cost of our competitors at quicker speeds than competitors, blah, 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 on and on and on, right? This is process-focused, meaning it sells the use of the tools they use, not the result of what the tools do, and stacks more tools on top to sound more valuable, and even cuts their prices because they're being viewed as a commodity. And then there's our agency. Our agency is results-focused. If things go as planned, we could see adding an extra 800, and this is a quote, 800,000 to $1 million a year in revenue while maintaining a 70% profit margin. This is results focused, meaning we don't sell the tools or even need to explain our process unless they ask. We sell the result. People don't buy drills. They buy holes in their wall. They don't buy iPhones. They buy social connectivity and entertainment. You have to relate the service back to the state of the client, because people don't buy coaches. They don't buy services. People don't buy anything. They don't buy the thing for what the thing is. Like this telescope back here. I didn't buy the telescope because I like the telescope. I bought it because it feels really cool to have in my apartment, and it's kind of like a dream to have a telescope with a window that I can look out into the stars, and I want to have that feeling of looking at stars. You know, I didn't invest in a really nice camera because I want a nice camera. I invested in a nice camera because I want my videos to look better. You got to think about the result of what you're selling. So the most successful marketers are people that understand the result is what's being sold, not the process. And if you try and sell the process, if you try and sell what's included in the process, if you try and talk to your client about how with your Facebook ads, you're going to run multiple campaigns at multiple different budgets and split tests and blah, 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 you'll lose their attention. All you have to do is say, look, you're here. I want to get you here. Here's proof that I can get you there. Why not start today? That's all you got to do. It's really, truly that simple. And when you start thinking that way, that's when you can charge a lot of money, and then you get paid a lot more money, and therefore your margins are a lot higher. And then your back end can stay super, super lean. Like, for example, I talked about Monopoly, the board game Monopoly. The back end of the creation of that game, it probably cost them 20 to 50 cents per game to make that thing in terms of raw materials. Like nothing. So you got to think, like, how can we take raw materials and apply them to create a result? Like with my team, I pay them plenty enough for them to be happy, but compared to the amount that I'm getting paid from clients, it's nothing. But clients are happy and team is happy. And I consider my team to be my internal customers, whereas my clients are my external customers. So if both are happy, I'm a happy man, and they're happy people. It's just a happiness triangle, and everybody's happy, and you're making a lot of money that way. So let's continue to move on here. So overcoming yourself and becoming a new you. This is probably the most important part of this video, and if you're going to take one thing away, it's going to be this, all right? Thank you for watching this far. I think at this point, things are going to get a little serious. They're going to get really, really applicable. I'm going to kind of call you out if you aren't already working on these things, because if you're doing everything else, you're doing all the tactical, you're doing all the implementation, you're learning all the tools, whatever it is, and you're not doing this, you're wasting your time. Just straight up, you are wasting your time, and you're never going to become the person that you're envisioning yourself to be, because I know that you're not learning how to run an agency because you want to run an agency. You want to run an agency because you see that it's a great opportunity and you could see your life being different, right? But the reality is that your life won't change unless you change. And this is something nobody talks about. I don't see anybody talking about this. This is why I am where I am today. I had to change myself. You look back at that 17-year-old picture of me and the 20-year-old picture of me from just today. Actually, that video was from today. And you can see a massive difference. It's because I did these simple things. So overcoming yourself and becoming a new you. First, we are not static beings. And these are some popular phrases that limit people their entire lives. Quote, I was born this way. Quote, that's just how I am. Quote, I struggle with blank. Quote, I need to wait until I have my degree. Quote, they're just lucky, I wish I had their luck. And on and on. Stop this. Adopt a growth mindset. One that recognizes all human beings as being on equal playing fields no matter their upbringing, background, genetics, etc., even if it's true that others have an advantage over you, which it isn't. Pondering on this brings you no value of any kind. So here's how to change your identity. By stating who we are and acting as that person, we can begin the process needed to change who we are. And this is a feedback loop and can either spring upwards or downwards. So let's start on the bottom left of this loop because I feel it's the easiest one to influence. This is what you say about yourself. Who do you think you are, and what do you say about yourself? So how do you talk about yourself in front of people? Do you make self-depreciating jokes that make people, wonder if you're sane? Do you say negative things about yourself? Do you say, oh, I don't get good sleep? Do you say, oh, I'm not the type to get into health and fitness? Do you say, oh, I'm not the type to run a profitable business? Do you say, I am poor, I am blank, I am not this kind of person, whatever? What do you say? Or is it positive? Is it, I could do this if I really worked? I'm just as capable as everybody else to do blank. Is it positive or is it negative? Because that's going to influence how you behave. And your behavior is going to create results. So you're going to observe the results of that behavior, which is then going to reinforce what you believe to be true about yourself, which is then going to influence what you say about yourself. And our life is made up of the results of our behavior. So if we want to influence that, we must change what we say and what we believe about ourselves and how we behave. So this is the loop. This is the loop that everybody exists on. And until you change the way you view yourself, you're not going to do any of this. How did a 20-year-old kid build what he's built? And this is not an ego thing, you guys. This is not me trying to, look, I'm not trying to inflate myself. I really want you to understand this stuff because truly, lives can be changed once they internalize the concept of individual sovereignty and the recognition that you are in charge. So how did a 20-year-old do this? Because at some point he decided he's in charge and he's not going to let himself get in his own way. So he's going to do this loop. He's going to take to action these things. So this alone is worth, honestly, I couldn't even put a price tag on this. It's priceless. So here's a screenshot of this so that you can put it as your desktop background if you like. Just get that for free, whatever, no big deal. And here, if you're on a phone as well, you can take that too. That way it can be your phone background. Because I've had a lot of people say that this is something that's really valuable to them. So go ahead and screenshot that. Use it as your phone background. If you're on a phone, if you're on a desktop, you can use this one. So take that home with you as a little gift for watching this video with me. So here's the last one. And this is do it right. So look, here's how to take everything and actually make it work. So do it right. So to be frank, most people never figure this stuff out, and you likely won't either. That is not alone. This can be a lot for someone who thought that simply cold calling and cold emailing businesses and getting good at Facebook ads is all that it takes. So if you do figure this out, put in the work and do it right. The sky's the limit and there's truly nothing stopping you. But trying to get it alone is like trying to guess the right 4-digit code on someone's iPhone with only 10 tries before it locks up. Very similar to how if you keep going hard and you're not getting any results as an entrepreneur, you're going to burn out. There are tens of thousands of possibilities and too many variables to be able to get it right purely alone. And I tried to do it alone for a long time, and though it worked out eventually, it was painful the whole way through, and I had many, many sleepless nights and lots of doubt. I remember many times calling my girlfriend at the time truly frustrated and red-faced with anger toward myself. I wanted to have what it took, but I doubted that constantly. And if I had known I could speed up the process by years, I would have simply gotten help from someone who has been doing it themselves successfully, and I would have paid any amount of money to get that help. And I want to offer you something. I want to offer you a free one-on-one call. And it will likely be myself on these calls, and if not, it'll be a highly trained team member or friend that I trust with these calls. And on this call, I myself will answer your questions, help you out, and see if you're a good fit for my online education and implementation program, where you can follow the exact blueprint that students like Keaton Walker, who's at $10,000 a month in profit consistently, who started at a measly zero with me, and Bastian Slot, who's at a hefty $35,000 a month in profit, starting from, again, zero with me, and what they've utilized to grow their agencies. It's the exact same stuff, okay? And I call it an education and implementation program because it's not just a stupid course. I give you action steps, and I'm going to give you blueprints of everything that I do. So here's the program. It includes 50 hours of recorded coaching calls, including those from top students like the two mentioned, a breakthrough mindset training that will allow you to reshape not just your business, but your entire life. And this, honestly, I could sell this alone. This is the most important stuff. Next is Facebook ads training from my personal Facebook ads expert that I use in my agency for my clients. And next is sales training to help you become a high converter that has taken many people from closing only 1 out of every 10 meetings, which I've found to be the norm, to being a 60 to 70% close rate salesman. And I'll even give you a copy and paste version of the funnel I use to attract clients onto my calendar so I can sell them my stuff. And this is a beautiful way of doing it. I'll even give you a script for these calls. I'll show you how to generate these calls. It will help you massively. And as I say often, don't sell a process or a product. Sell a result. The result I want for you is to have you at that golden $10,000 a month mark with your agency, have you out at the apartment, personally spend a day with you, and give you your $10,000 a month lion ring, which you can see other students have received on my channel. You can look at interviews with other top students. And to be a game changer in the lives of your clients, making them never want to leave you. So if you're ready to take the leap and begin a new chapter of your life with your agency or consulting business, book a call using the link below. If you're not qualified to enter into the program, that is completely okay, and there will be no hard feelings. I'm only looking for a certain type of person, one with money to spend on getting real help and the emotional and mental fortitude to take this seriously. If you feel like you're tired of scraping, doing it the way every other online educator on this topic seems to teach it, and start to model an underdog who's been silently crushing it in the corner while asking nothing in return, then schedule your meeting and let's see if you're a good fit. And honestly, it could likely be the most valuable 30 to 45 minutes you'll spend in your journey as an entrepreneur. So the link is pinned in the comments and is in the top of the description down below. So everybody, I hope you enjoyed this YouTube video. If you did, be sure to leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought. Take action if you are ready to make this work. And I want this video to be the most valuable video that you've digested on YouTube on this topic ever. And if it's not, be honest with me. But if it is, come back later. These videos aren't meant to be watched once. They're meant to be referred back to, learned from time and time again. I want to be an active resource. Consider me like a Wikipedia, not just a one-stop shop, but a place to come back to and return back to along your journey. And that's what I want. I want to see real lives change in people and people impacted from this work. And I'm already seeing that. And it's honestly, I've shed many tears over seeing people succeed. I truly, truly have. Even just last Sunday, I saw another student testimonial roll in, and I saw somebody who's doing very well, and it really honestly made my day. And I had to take a step out from church. I was at church, and I just had to be alone for a minute. I cried a little bit, went back into church, because it really is truly amazing. And so book your call. Otherwise, no pressure. Enjoy the free YouTube content. But really, if you're ready to take things seriously, let's get rocking. Let's do it for real. And let's get you going. So thanks again for watching. Hope you enjoy this video along with the rest of the channel, and hope you are enjoying this type of content. Be sure to follow me on Instagram. I put up daily Instagram stories of what I'm doing, how things are going, what I'm working on, team meetings, everything like that. So you can really see kind of what my day-to-day life looks like. I also goof off like a normal 20-year-old too, so you probably get to see that, which would be kind of fun. And feel free to connect with me over there as well. Shoot me a DM if you have any questions or you're interested in anything. It's a great place to reach me. So thanks once again. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next video. See ya.